join me in the pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have session minutes of June 13th. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. And we have a consent agenda. It was prepared for us and sent out Friday. Are there any items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda for further consideration and deliberation, or can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as prepared?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Aye. That brings us over to page 5, item 9. Resolution 100-18 in the amount of, to pay our bills, in the amount of $2,667,210.06. Do we have a motion to approve item 9?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 10, Mr. Grabowski.
Good morning, all.
Morning.
Greetings.
This is cooling down a little bit.
It has.
Agenda item number 10 is a recommendation from myself, Wade Grabowski, Director of Facilities Management, with the concurrence of Mr. Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute a contract for minor public improvement projects by and in between the Board of Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and Mr. David's Flooring, Kemper Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, for the flooring replacement on the second floor of the Clermont County Family Support Center located at 2400 Clermont Center Drive, Batavia. Specifically, area number 2 and area number 3 for the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services Children's Protective Services Division, in accordance with the scope of services stated in Exhibit A, which identifies the National Joint Powers Alliance member price list for contract number 121715 MAC, in concert with the provisions of the aforestated improvements, and which is attached thereto and made a part thereof, in an amount not to exceed $31,339.17, with said services to be completed within 120 days of the contractor's receipt of a signed contract, and notice to proceed from the Clermont County Facilities Management Department pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein.
Okay, do we have a motion to execute the contract for minor public improvements as contained in item 10?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 11,
11 is Part B of this.
Part B.
Recommendation of myself, Wade Grabowski, with the concurrence of Mr. Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute a contract for minor public improvement projects by and between the Board of Commissioners of Clermont County and Mr. David's Flooring, Westchester, Ohio, for the flooring replacement on the second floor of the Clermont County Family Support Center, located at 2400 Clermont Center Drive, Batavia, specifically area number 1 for the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services Children's Protective Services Division, in accordance with the scope of services stated in Exhibit A, which identifies the National Joint Powers Alliance member price list for contract 121715 MAC, in concert with the provisions of the aforestated improvements, and which is attached thereto and made a part thereof, in an amount not to exceed $53,836.30, with said services to be completed within 120 days of the contractor's receipt of a signed contract, and notice to proceed from the Clermont County Facilities Management Department pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with rec number 3167-00 dated 4/23/2018.
Do we have a motion to execute the contract for minor public improvements as contained in item 11?
So moved.
Second?
Hold on just a second. Will this second floor flooring, does this also get the area that's back there for the OMJ Center?
OMJ is already completed.
It's already done, okay.
Yeah, that's completed, and their relocation starts next Tuesday night. The final AC is going in now. TTD has all their phone service done. We have all our new electric done. The only thing that is yet to be done is the display board, which is a training type situation where the marquee will flash all the things for the different departments.
Then they've got some doors to wrap too.
They're going to wrap those next week. We didn't want to confuse people before it's time, so they'll start moving in next Tuesday evening, and hopefully we'll have them all in by Thursday at noon. Friday they get set up. The following Monday is when they're live, and I think that is July 1, I believe. 2.
July 2.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they'll be up and running then. All right, thank you.
Judy?
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye. Item 12, Ms. Sheets.
Item 12 relates to our vehicle purchases again. I am requesting that you adopt resolution number 10818. We're going to purchase 3 more new motor vehicles as additions and replacements to the Clermont County Sheriff's fleet. And we've also modified 3 of the purchases that were previously approved to different vehicles. The 3 new for the sheriff, one of those is because we are going to have a new contract for an additional vehicle that will be starting January 1st, so we need to get that vehicle in here and upfitted. Another one is a replacement of a contract vehicle that is scheduled to be replaced January 1st on a current contract. So again, we need to get that one in here and upfitted before the end of the year. And the third one is because we ran out of spares at the sheriff's office for vehicle issues, either their maintenance that is not worth putting back into the ones that we had as a spare, or damages from an accident. So we've got those for $120,000. In essence, these are purchases that would have been appropriated in 2019, part of the vehicle plan. We'll include them when we look at the vehicle plan for 2019, so you should expect a little bit less in the sheriff's office next year. And then the replacements were just trading we had previously approved a compact SUV. We're trading that up to a mid-size SUV, and we had a van that was at a higher level for veterans. Their van was not a handicap accessible, they just got a regular van, and then instead of a small SUV for juvenile court, we went to a van. So they get a van and a mid-size, and then we had a mid-size actually up to a large in fleet or facilities.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt resolution 101-18 as contained in item 12?
So moved.
Second.
Painter.
Yes.
Humphrey.
Aye.
Thanks, Suki.
Thanks, Suki. 13.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I will introduce Bruce momentarily, but first I'm going to read the motion, and then I'm going to have Bruce Preston, who is the Client Services Manager with Comp Management, explain how we came to the decision to recommend what I'm getting ready to present here. So it's my recommendation, Terry Brandenburg, the HR Coordinator, with the concurrence of Tom Eigel, County Administrator, and Suki Sheets, the Assistant County Administrator, to authorize Clermont County's participation in the County Commissioners Association of Ohio Workers' Compensation Group Retrospective Rating Program. This is for policy number 313-00001 for workers' compensation, for the period of January 1, 2019 through December 31st, 2019, and further to authorize Edwin Humphrey, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the County Commissioners Association of Ohio Workers' Compensation Group Retrospective Rating Plan Agreement relative thereto, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein. So again, like I mentioned, I'm going to just allow Bruce just a minute to explain to you how we came to this conclusion.
Good morning.
Morning.
So we got together with Suki and looked at the various options that are available for the 2019 rating year. And the filing deadline for these options would be July 31st. So we took a look at them last month to see really what would offer you the lowest premium and the least amount of risk involved. Coverage is the same for the injured workers no matter what premium program you choose. So we looked at individual retro, which the county had been in through 2014. And we looked at group retro, the shared pool through CCAO that you've been in from 2015 to this year. And then we also looked at, well, what if you don't do either of those programs, but just take advantage of the Bureau's Destination Excellence programs and add that up. And again, weighing out the risk involved, the liability exposure, the premium, and the benefits that were being projected out of each program, the decision was made that the group retrospective rating program through county commissioners offered the least amount of risk exposure for the county, but potentially the lowest premium of all the options.
So do we have a motion to authorize the Clermont County to participate in the County Commissioners Association of Ohio Workers' Compensation Group Retrospective Rating Program as contained in item 13?
So moved.
Second.
Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye. Item 14.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
sir.
You too.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ben Smith, Benefits Plan Coordinator for Clermont County. It's my recommendation, with the concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize the payment of the Patient-Centered Outcomes Research Institute, also known as PCORI, fee to the Department of the Treasury Internal Revenue Service at the rate of $2.39 per person for the average number of members in the Clermont County Self-Insured Health Plans for calendar year 2017, for an amount not to exceed $5,384.67, and to authorize Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to execute and file the Department of Treasury Internal Revenue Services quarterly federal excise tax return Form 720, along with the aforestated fee on or before July 31st, 2018, pursuant to and in compliance with the Federal Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act.
Okay.
So we pay this fee once a year, and we have since the Affordable Care Act went into effect. This year, 2018, will be the last year that we have to pay those fees. So we will pay another check next year, but that will be the last one unless something changes.
Okay. So we have a motion to authorize the payment of the Patient-Centered Outcome Research Institute for the fee to the Department of the Treasury, as outlined in 14. Second.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 15 is an item we've been doing every year for probably the last 5 years. What it is pursuant to Section 570546 of the revised code, it limits our expenditures for payroll during the first half of any year to 60% of what is appropriated. This resolution motion waives that limit, which we are allowed to do. And the reason we do it here, and what we'll do is I'll probably start rolling it in with the appropriation next year so we don't have to come back with a separate resolution. The reason it happens is we have grant funds that we may spend more on a grant fund at the beginning of the year than we do at the end of the year. We have shared people who shift their sharing from one half of the year to the other half of the year. So there are certain appropriations that they're not consistent across all 26 payrolls. So we have appropriations that will be exceeding the 60%.
Would exceed the 60%.
They will exceed the 60%. They will not exceed the total year in most all of those cases. And
So
if they
it's just
do, we'll
really-
come back with an appropriation request to modify that
It's just really a matter of where the actual cost actually hits.
when they hit. It's when they, right, exactly, when they hit.
So do we have a motion to waive the limitation as contained in item 15?
So moved.
Second?
Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 16. Mr.
The
Eigel.
Board of County Commissioners received the resolution adopted by the Board of Miami Township Trustees on May 15th, requesting the board to vacate portions of Miami Park Circle that is situated within the Mills of Miami subdivision located in Miami Township. And this particular request is pursuant to and in compliance with Section 5553.045 of the Ohio Revised Code, which is a alternative to the vacation requests by petition by either a resident or by the trustees or by the county engineer. And what it does is it does not require a publication of the notice in the newspaper, does not require the board to view it. It just requires the board to have a hearing or to do nothing. This law went into effect about 15 years ago, and we've instituted once or twice to indicate that the trustees have the right to vacate if we do nothing or if we do not do it within a timely manner. We are required to have a public hearing, and the engineer is required to review their request. We've received his report on June 5th, and we have set the hearing for July 11th at 11 a.m. There is only one owner of real estate. It's Potter Hill Homes, and they are requesting it, and it's for two basically stubs in a circle, and they will be the recipient of that property once it is done.
Okay.
So if the board will please acknowledge the receipt of it and that of the engineer's preliminary report and the establishment of the date, time, and place of the hearing, we will be able to proceed.
Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Item 17. You just keep getting up.
I tried not to make you be a popinjay.
You didn't try very hard.
Well, look at it this way. You got time on your clock.
Item 17 is our financials for the week. We have one supplemental appropriation. This is in general fund in the clerk and municipal court regular salaries. It's $10,819 for a vacation payout upon retirement. We have already appropriated the sick leave payout upon retirement. These funds, if you remember, come from our fund balance. We have set aside a reserve for vacation and sick liability that gets reviewed annually. So we appropriate these as they happen.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the supplemental appropriation as contained in item 17?
So moved.
Second?
Painter?
Yes.
Aye.
We do have an add-on, Mr. Humphrey.
I saw somebody standing in the back. Come up, Brandon.
Hepner.
Morning, Brandon Hepner, Director of Information Systems Department. It's my recommendation, with the concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to approve the rescission of the electronic subscription renewal for the provision of software and hardware updates and support with CDWG for the Adobe All Apps Creative Cloud at the not-to-exceed estimate of $900 for the term of 6/22/2018 through 6/22/2019. Heretofore ratify the Board of County Commissioners on 2/14/2018, and in lieu of, therefore, to approve the electronic subscription renewal for the provision of software and hardware updates and support for the Adobe All Apps Creative Cloud with connection of 732 Milford Road, Merrimack, New Hampshire, at the not-to-exceed estimate rate of $950 for the term of $950 for the term of 6/22/2018 through 6/22/2019, and set forth in the electronic subscription renewals, all of which are on file at the Information Systems Department. Basically, one of our vendors, we couldn't get the product for the price that we had originally asked for the software renewals.
And it looks like you're changing complete companies, right?
Yes,
Total
they came in
different-
with the best estimate
Okay.
or quote.
And previously, how did we come up with the $900?
When we get quotes for the software subscription, or we either look at last year's and kind of go off of that, or we get a quote from a vendor. Quotes are only good for 30 days, so if we get a quote and then we send it through the board, it potentially could, the quote could expire, and then when we go get another quote, the price could go up.
And that's kind of what happened in this particular case?
Well, no, not really. This was from earlier in the year. We put this through in February. So the prices went up since last year. We didn't actually have this quoted out in February.
Okay.
So do we have a motion to approve the switch of vendors as contained in this item?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a need for executive session pursuant to 121.22 G1 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, demotion, or compensation of a public employee, and 2, to confer with the prosecuting attorney regarding pending or imminent litigation respectively. Do we have a motion to go in under those 2 sections?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. We'll be back. We're back from executive session. No decisions were made. We have some add-ons.
I have 2 add-ons for the board's consideration. They're personnel actions. Water Resources Department, James Smith. Water Resources Department Maintenance Specialist, administrative leave end, non-disciplinary with pay. That is effective 6/14/18. And in the Water Resources Department, James Smith, Water Resources Department Maintenance Specialist, termination resignation, and that is effective July 1st of 2018.
Do we have a motion to approve the personnel actions as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. We have time now for public participation. Anyone wish to present to us today? If not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye. That concludes our business for today. Thanks for joining us, and God bless.